Do a transliteration when it is becoming good. Lord, let me be there. Abi? All right. Okay. In the next couple of minutes, I just want to put us through this. We may have heard about it before or known about it before, and before we go into real practical sessions, there is an aspect of our work that has to do with planning your research. I believe when Dr. Adedine comes, he will be able to put us through very well on that. Tips on developing appropriate tables, charts, presentation of results. Statistics is majorly divided into two. Okay, two hands, so to say. Descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. The very first thing you talk about is descriptive. Describe your data. Again, let me recall, or let me say it again. Majorly we're focusing on quantitative data. Okay? Quantitative data. Even if it is qualitative data, you still have to describe the people you interviewed one way or the other. But for now, when we talk about tables and things like that, we'll talk quantitative data. And why are we using the word appropriate tables, appropriate charts? Let me just remind you of what Dr. Adedine said yesterday. That has to do with the nature of data, the nature of a variable. If it is an ordinal, if it is a nominal, and if it is numerical. So we need to get that very well when it comes to appropriate charts, okay, and then appropriate tables, and of course presentation of results. I'll just give an outline of presentation of results, and then we're good to start our practicals. I want to believe everybody has at least the African version of Stata. Not yet. Why? Who doesn't have Stata? Really? The Stata also comes with data too. Okay, all right, fine. Probably while this is going on, we can get that done. But at the same time, I will need your attention here. Apparently, this thing is not working. Learning objectives. Bullet 1. Who came in last here? Nurse, yeah.
Understand and identify the variables and their respective levels needed in each specific objective.
What does that mean? We said yesterday that there is what we called general objective, and there is specific objectives. Each of the specific objectives, 3, 4, 5, no matter the number, must at the end of the day flow into each other to address the general objective. In fact, that's what makes the work interesting to read. Moving from one area to the other and things like that. So you must have identified the variables, their respective levels. What does that mean? Levels means categories. If you are dealing with categorical variables, you need to understand this particular categorical variable, how many levels does it have? How many categories do we have about it? Why do you have to understand that? The moment, for me as a statistician, the moment the number of ordinal variables, the number of categories, the moment is more than 5, I won't think of a pie chart because it will look clumsy. So anything more than 5, I don't do pie chart for it. I would rather do histogram or bar charts, depending again on the nature of the variable. So in each specific objective, specific objective 1, you need to examine it very well. What are the variables they are in? And which variable are we looking for? The dependent variable. Some other people call it response variable because it's responding. The independent, some other people will call it explanatory variables or causal variables, as the case may be. Those are the things you are going to identify in each specific objective. Bullet 2. Yeah.
To identify appropriate tables and charts needed, or charts needed based on the specific objective.
All right. If you need, well, I don't know about some schools. In my school, the moment you present a table, you have no business in presenting the chart of the same table. You pick one. Okay? So, and I think most journals will not allow you to, you know. So, when we talk about univariable, that is data presentation. You are presenting your data. And what do we normally use univariable analysis for? Sometimes to check the prevalence of a particular thing, to discuss the distribution of the categories of each variable, to also talk about, to describe a particular variable, especially if it is numerical, and then also to clean the data. When I first heard the word clean the data, of course the first thing that came to my mind was, is the data dirty? Every raw data will one way or the other be dirty, and so we need to clean it. And what are we looking for when we're talking about cleaning? Outliers. Sometimes you must have written a particular program and declare a particular level of a variable as 1, coded as 1 equals male, 2 equals female. But during data entry, somebody may have punched 3, and so the system will not give it any label because 1 for male, 2 for female, any other thing. So you as the owner of the data, you of course you know that you did not interview any other person apart from a male and a female. Where is this 3 coming from? So you go back to the data editor. After you must have run the analysis, there is another system in SPSS that will really tell you where the problem is, and then you go straight to the case number, and then you think about it. Either you send the interviewer back to the field, go and check, or you look at it, okay, maybe he actually wanted to punch 2 and he punched 3. So let me put 2 there. That is cleaning the data. Are you getting what I'm saying? If you are interviewing people between age 15 and 49, and all of a sudden you saw 200, that's an outlier. Maybe the person is thinking of 20, and then you clean the data as the case may be. It's also to check missing data when values are missing, and there are different ways of filling it up. You either do an average and then put the mean in those areas. However, the moment there are more than 5, because it can distort the data. So bivariate as well. We have charts for bivariate as well as appropriate tables for bivariate. So also multivariate, appropriate tables for that. And then of course, how to present results. Can we identify the variables here? Now, well, this table assumes that we have 3 specific objectives. It can be more. So when you look at your work, serial number 1, what is the specific objective? What is the dependent variable? In other words, put the variable name, put the levels, especially if it is categorical. Contraceptive use, any other categorical variable. Wealth index, if it is a dependent variable. Okay, then the independent variable, the variable name, the levels, and you are done with specific objective number 1. Go to specific objective number 2, identify the dependent variable, the independent variable. Most of the time, if your work has to do with one dependent variable, then you have the same thing here. Is that clear? All right. Dummy tables. What do you understand by the word dummy? How many of you have looked at somebody to show be a bit dummy by? What does it mean? A prototype. You must have that picture in mind. What do I want? Okay? That's before the analysis. All you're just doing is to look at the specific objectives. What kind of table do I need? And then you bring them out. I'll show you a dummy very short. Well, let me show. I hope I have it. This is a dummy. There is nothing inside. I have that picture in my head already. So by the time I'm doing the analysis, I will just pick those values and put them in here. That's a dummy. When you have that picture, then you know where you're going actually. All right. Your identification and understanding of the variables and their respective levels helps you to determine, one, the nature of the table you need. How many rows, how many columns. How to properly label the table, especially by variables. How to place the levels of each variable when you must have asked yourself, what percentage do you need? Row total or column total? Especially by variable tables. For univariable tables, it's just a matter of frequency and percentage. For me as a statistician, I love to go with valid percentage. Why am I using valid percentage? It will take care of missing values. Okay, it will still add up to 100.0, but it will take care of missing values so that I'm not just going to put in zeros into the table. A quick recall, variable into qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative variables, also known as categorical variables, can be dichotomous, can be binary, can be nominal, can be ordinal. When it is dichotomous, have only two categories or groups or levels, has only two responses, or recoded into two responses. I hope you are getting what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
At what point will you recode into two responses? Let me bring back, you have heard about Likert scale before.
Yes, sir.
So, take for example, we have strongly agree, agree, undecided, disagree, strongly disagree. You may want to look at it as, I have 5 levels, can I have 3? Anybody that is strongly disagree, also disagree. So let me pull them together. If you agree and strongly agree, you have agreed. Let me pull them together. So I now have agree, undecided, disagree. That's recoding into 3 levels out of 5. Okay? Same thing for the different other tables, other variables. Okay? Nominal, have 3 or more groups with no specific ordering, like occupation. No specific ordering. Why are we saying no specific ordering? You cannot say, okay, I'm going to put code farmer as 1. And somebody says, because it's putting farmer as 1, it must be the very first one. After all, what we're going to eat is the senior brother of what we're going to do. Abi? Artisan, student, civil servant. No specific ordering. But when it is ordinal, have 3 or more groups with specific ordering, like wealth index. You go from very poor to very rich. Level of education, you go from none to tertiary. Can you give another example here of a variable like that? Age group. 15 to 19. 20 to 21, 20 to 24, 25 to 29, on and on till 49. That's a particular ordering. So by the time you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know that as they increase in age, so it's also the ordering. Okay, somebody is saying something? Socioeconomic status. Well, yeah, that's true. Which can also fall into wealth index one way or the other. All right. Quantitative variable, numerical in nature. It can be discrete, it can be continuous. When it is discrete, what are we talking about? Yes. Whole numbers. Okay. As a mathematician, I would prefer you use another word. Integers. All right. Integers. But when it is continuous, what does it mean? It's continuous. Can you give an example of such variable? Age. Yeah. Age is actually a continuous variable. Researchers will only treat it as if it's discrete. And that's why Wind demographer will say your age last birthday. Okay? And we deal with age last birthday. And that gives you a whole number, an integer. Alright. Any other continuous one?
Education in number of years.
Number of children, okay.
This discrete variable.
That's discrete, so.
Yes, sir.
Number of years of
I'm talking about continuous.
Number of years of education.
Years of education, okay.
Height.
Height. Weight. Okay. And that will lead us to BMI. Income will be what? Assignment number 2. Did I give you any assignment yesterday?
No.
Oh, okay. That your no is so fast. All right. So observations measured on continuous scale, having decimal points, real numbers, e.g. weight at birth, height, BP, etc. Notes. I want somebody to read these notes.
It is expected that you must have interacted with or interrogated or socialized with or romanced with it.
I love this word. What does it mean?
Familiarize yourself.
Familiarize yourself with the data. Why? Because by the time you have your topic, your general objective, your specific objectives, if a particular data is not addressing it, you have to look for another data. I hope you understand what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
If a particular secondary data is not addressing it, if DHS is not addressing it, go for any other one. For example, issues that has to do with labor and all that, DHS may not really do justice to it. Okay, so you may have to look for data from high and low. NBS can also assist along that line. We were discussing with Ajay yesterday, and we were looking at issues about mental health. I'm not sure DHS will really capture everything about mental health, but we asked the NBC man, are you NBC or NPC? NPOPC, yeah. And said there is one is called, what did you call that survey again? Mental survey, or what is it called?
Health facility.
Health, no, not health. You mentioned it yesterday. Ajay, what did he say? That has to do with substance abuse, substance use.
Okay. That's drug.
Drug survey.
Drug survey.
Drug survey. All right. Okay. So appropriate tables, univariable. This is what you have. So use for data cleaning, check for outliers, empty cells, inconsistencies, etc. Can be a single consisting of only one variable, of which the dimension depends on the levels of the variables. What is the dimension of this table? 3 by 3 by 3.
No, 3 by 4.
3 by 4. Really? It's 4 by 3. It's 4 by 3.
4 by 3.
You mentioned the row before column. Row is this way.
Yes.
So the row of sex, the row of male, the row of female, the row of total.
Yes. Okay, that's 4.
4 ni.
Yes.
But I was thinking the upper one is the type.
But it's in a row. But it's in a row. We're just looking at this the way this table is actually. Now, what is the difference between this table and this table?
Let's see the other one variable.
Only one variable. And this?
That's 1, 2, 3 variables.
3 variables, namely?
Age,
But it's still a univariable table. Now, appropriate tables by variable to examine relationships, associations between explanatory variables and response variable. Usually, the response variable is placed on the column, usually noted for fewer number of categories. Note, if you want row or column percentage, for significance of the association, note the p-value and interpret with respect to the stated level of significance. Maybe when we get to the practical session, we'll talk more about all of this. Watch out on empty cells, as you may need to match some levels of the explanatory variables. Okay? Appropriate tables by variable. How many variables do we have here? 2 variables, age and never use contraceptive. How many levels of age do we have? 4. And how many levels of contraceptive use? 2. So, we have the total. This total will tell you about total what? Total age. Total by age category. Okay? And the p value here is just the chi-square is just a single value. The p value is just a single value. Please note, this is small letter p, not capital letter P. The moment you put capital letter P, it means something different. It's a probability statement. Alright? What is the difference between this table and this table? We have just one independent variable here, but we have how many here? So as many as possible, you have them like that, and it gives each of them their different p-values. Ordinarily, for me, I should have matched these lines together that will terminate at 25 to 29. Match Christianity together that will terminate at others. Yeah, so it's a single p-value, it's a single chi-square value. Okay? Yes, please.
In reporting this kind of bivariate variables, is it a standard practice to always have the independent variable on the is it y axis now horizontal?
Sorry. You mean, is it that they must be here?
Yes.
And why not
I
here?
get confused when I'm trying to do SPSS.
Yeah, both of them have specific arrangement, both theta and SPSS. They have specific arrangement of it. So when you do one, what should be in your mind is that your response variable must be here.
Okay.
Okay? And your independent variables must be here. If you put these ones here, then you now have, what's this thing called? Landscape, right? You now have a long one, and that would be clumsy. Because table on their own should be able to explain what you are doing. Okay?
I ask because sometimes you can have more than one of the
More than one.
More than one in the independent.
More than one independent.
Response variable.
Okay, more than one response variable. That may be possible, but you may have to look at another line here that will bear the second one. after this. Okay? Or some other people can just say chi-square into p-value. So for every value of chi-square, they will put in bracket the p-value. Okay? And some people will just put asterisks and define it. Star means less than 5, 0.005 and all that. Okay? What's the difference between this and this?
This is the other one. Which is? So this is like a bias of. Is having controls.
This is having controls. In other words, what we have initially was like the total thing. Okay? But now, I want to control for sex. I want to look at what is happening among males here. And when I'm done, I'll put females down. At the end of the day, it will give me everything about all. Hands on. What can you say about the table? Oh yeah. Oh.
Use of skilled prenatal care. Improving over the years, or has improved over the years?
It's showing
It's not consistent.
Has improved over the years. Actually, 2008 and 13.
This is from NPCO. Mind the way you say it's not consistent too. Three variables.
Yes, use of skilled prenatal care services.
Ooh la la la. 3 variables. What are the variables?
Use of sleep prenatal care.
That's a variable.
Service-based services.
That's variables.
Service utilization.
I almost speak Ijesha to you. Imate oko. That's a variable. We have just one variable. Service.
Those are options.
Me, I won't call them option. They are categories of the variable service. So we have use of skilled prenatal care services, facility-based deliveries, use of postnatal care. And we have 1990. Which variable is this? Year. Year. 1990, 1999, 03, 08, and 13. Okay? Now, what can you say about these figures? Sorry. Hello. Ma pè yín padà mo ń teach lọ́wọ́.
Use of skilled prenatal care services has close to doubled between 1990 and 2020.
Okay. Now, use of skilled prenatal care services 36.3, 24.7, 21.3, 57.7, 60.6. Will I be right if I say from year 2003 to 2013 there has been an increase in use of skilled prenatal care?
Yes,
Would you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Why did I say from 2003 and not from 2008?
Yeah, because there's a drop.
There's a drop here. Okay. In fact, I can also say there is a consistent drop. Well, let me not use the word consistent now. There's a drop from 1990 to 2003.
Yeah.
And then it picks up afterwards. Facility-based income 30.9, 37.3, 32.6, 35.0, 35.8.
Modulating trend. Not quite stable.
Okay. Now, use of postnatal care. Data not available. Data not available. And then 28.7, 43.7, 41.9.
Between 2003 and 8, but it dropped from between 8 and
2008 and 2019. And then we now have to look for what could have happened around those years that can cause all of this. Why did we not have data here? Okay, so many questions that you can ask, and then you talk about the table. Description using graphs, charts. Why use charts? It depends on your audience. Okay? If you tell me, for example, 2.5% of I will understand you. But if you tell my mother, she'll be looking at you. So, my mother will feel much at home with figures. Okay? With figures. Figures as in charts. Okay. Now, provide information for audience who cannot comprehend numerical tables. Employ to present a quick overall impression of the data. Now, it doesn't matter if you're presenting a chart. It doesn't mean that all of the time the people you are addressing, they don't understand tables. And that's why bullet number 2 is saying to present quick overall impression of the data. Take, for example, if your paper is accepted for chart presentation. Okay? What do they call that thing? It's not chart presentation. Poster. You don't have enough. You only have one poster. And inside that poster, you must present all your specific objectives must be represented. So you don't have enough time to now do 4 by how many size table. But when you do charts, pie chart somewhere, bar chart somewhere, and things like that, it will pass the message across. Provides an alternative way of displaying information organized in a frequency distribution. Recall the types of charts: bar, pie, and histogram. They are more than this. Okay? There is the stem, there is the scatter plot, there is something box, or something. Bar chart. I want somebody to read.
Bar chart is a tool for displaying nominal or ordinal data. The bar chart can accommodate 2 or more distributions.
2 or more distributions. Description. Using graphs or charts. What are we talking about here?
Bar chart.
This is a bar chart. For what variable?
Age category.
Age group. We have grouped the age. How many variables are represented here?
2. Want to know government, the attitude of government to spending on social security and welfare.
We're looking at social security and welfare. Government spending on social security and welfare. And this is welfare, right? Welfare. This is social security. Now, what can you say about government spending when the opinion of the people is too little? The people believe that government is spending too little on social security. Whereas here shows that it's just about right here. Now, if they say it's just about right, do you know that this is almost equal? Okay? Pie chart. Bullet 1.
Data must be nominal or ordinal in nature.
Okay? 2.
Categories of variables of focus are displayed in segments of the sample.
Alright?
It is used to present a simple distribution.
Unlike the other one. Okay? And then here?
Advisable for variables of not more than 5 categories.
Alright. The moment it is more than 5 categories, it becomes clumsy. You may not even be able to understand what we're doing. Okay? Opinion about government spending. Poor children. And this is their responses: more, no change, less, much less. Histogram for frequency distributions of intervals or ratio level data looks like a bar chart, but without any space between the rectangles for continuous data. Rectangles are displayed on the horizontal axis. Height of the rectangles corresponds to the frequency of the interval. Cannot be used to display more than one distribution. That's what we're talking about. Presentation of results. I'm going to stop here. You follow this. This must have been stated and clear enough. Introduce us to what you want to do. Why are you doing it? What's the problem? Statement of the problem. Who can explain what statement of the problem means? Statement of the problem. What does it mean? That's justification. To show the gap.
What the issue is.
What the issue is.
The context, you want to understand the current challenges with that particular issue.
In spite of, that's where the problem is. Okay? For example, in spite of government intervention in a particular thing, this is still happening. Why? Do you get it now? I told you yesterday that I wrote on traditional bone setters. What I noticed is this. Government already equipped orthopedic hospitals or orthopedic sections of a particular hospital. In spite of those modern things, people still prefer to go to traditional bone setters. Why? And it's not about age or qualification. There are professors who decided to discharge themselves against medical advice and take them to Sabo or to traditional bone setters. And it was an interesting study. Let me tell you one of the stories that I learned. A particular nurse wanted to establish orthopedic hospital, but she's not qualified. She's not a medical doctor, so she's not qualified. So, of course, she decided to go ahead with it, but hired the services of a medical person. Now, because she herself is an orthopedic nurse, she will now put modern medicine inside I call them stand 5 inside the concussion for them to take. Of course, the patient did not know they are also taking, but me, I'm interested because it's a way of saying, come, let's combine the traditional and the modern and let's get this thing resolved once and for all. But that's what she was doing. At another point in time, a professor invited me to his office and said, come and see what I'm talking about concerning your work. So I went to his office. He invited another lecturer. That one came. He was leaning on a particular hand and discussing with the lecturer that invited me. He just invited me and said, keep quiet, just watch. They had all their discussion and all of that and then left. I said, the reason why I invited you is because that lecturer, the same hand that he was leaning on was the one the Hausas operated upon. Okay? It's not a matter of qualification. The man went to the Hausas to straighten the bones. And how did they do it? In the hospital, they will sedate you, or at least deaden the cells around that area before they carry it out. In this case, they did not sedate him. They were talking with him, taking his mind away, and then they jacked the thing. Oh, are you the person? He shouted, but of course they have done what they wanted to do. And the guy is feeling fine till today. But then, government hospitals have been well equipped. Why are they still patronizing traditional bone setters? That's a problem. So that's how you identify what is the problem. Of course, we have talked much about research questions, objectives, methodology, results, discussion, and conclusion.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
From your example, the method that you want to use was mainly qualitative.
No, quantitative.
Carry that stuff.
Yeah. I designed a questionnaire for it. But inside that questionnaire, there are open-ended questions. There are open-ended questions. You know. All right. If there's no other question, Mr. Azan may want to take Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. But they will hear me. There's no.
It's called for the them, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Have you all gotten your data package and data?
So which data we use?
The data package
Which data we want to use?
and data. This is
Is it the
not yet. But I've been asking that you should collect since yesterday now. This is the data that I want to use. This no, the DT. This is the data. The system has some issues, but don't worry. Do you have a flash drive?
No, I don't.
This is what we'll do. When this man finishes copying, they can collect a copy. Yes. Yes. Yes, sir. You need to copy from one of them, or maybe copy from Aja. I gave her yesterday. Copy from Aja. Okay, is it not in the flash drive? Give it to Aja to copy for you.
Is it here?
Doctor, I mean,
Give him so that
dot DTA. So let me see. Open it. It will work. It will work.
it's okay.
Let's finish copying. Let me install it. MP. One of those MP files. Stata MP. So the matter is she. My direct boss come on. You just pick the last one. Never update. Never check for updates and there's something else. Anyway.
MP64 or anything?
Just MP.
Just the MP.
64. Is it 64?
The control at
And that's that MP.
Okay.
So pick the last one.
Disable automatic update.
That's it. So for those who have copied, please share with those who have not, so that we can quickly proceed. This is let me put out a caveat. It's going to be it's supposed to be a long training, but because you know I am not a lecturer proper, so I'll just try my best to pass the message across as much as I can. You understand? And I'm sure we're going to have a lot of back and forth. Those of us who have done who have worked with SETA before, You can also support, to facilitate, like our doctor there. Data. Who has the flash drive? Is the flash drive here? Okay. Is anybody copying from doctor? Are they copying? No, he is putting his own inside his system. Or give it to her, let her copy for you. No, not him. Give her. That thing is big. It's about 1.4 gig. And you know the number of items there too, there are many. So we need to quickly do this. This is past 3 already. Let's just say we want to use 1.5 hours. Where's my own flash drive? That are not together. We are not. Or let me stand on the existing protocol. He's still doing that. You can stop because she has it. She has it already. Please, thank you. We apologize for the inconvenience. Now, I said standing on the existing protocol. Yes, the happy independence, happy Sunday and the likes. You understand? So today we want to, right now we want to talk about, what is the title here? Practical session on analysis of DHS data using Stata. There's one here. There's also 3. I think what we're going to do is just move together and see how far we can go because there's not much time. So first and foremost, let me start with the slide. This is how it's going to be. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Sir, you are raising up your hand. Oh, okay. Please, when it is time to look up, please look up. Oh. So, practical session on analysis of DHS data using Stata. This was supposed to be taken by Professor Adejimi. I was supposed to be a facilitator. Now, for some reason, he can't make it, and I'm taking it over. So just bear with me. Let us work together for as long as we can and see how far we can go. Okay? Now, the first part is understanding the DHS data. I think this is very clear. We have all been taught the different data sets in DHS survey.
No.
We haven't come across this before.
No.
The DHS data, when you go online for those who have been able to go online to request for the data, has anybody done that? No, you have done that. So based on what you are doing, they will give you options of which area you are focusing on. You understand the concept of unit of analysis, right? Unit of analysis, yes. Where the focus, those who are involved, who are the focus of your study. If you are working on adolescents are your unit of analysis. So if you are working on, let's say, adolescent girls now, you already know, or for those who have tried it, but for those who don't know, let me just go over it. The first one is battery code. There are 8 data sets in the DHS data survey, right? There are 8 of them. The first is battery code. Data for all births to women of reproductive age 15 to 49 years. Of course, sometimes if you don't understand this, the structure of the data, you may not be able to know which data should you use. And this is important. I remember I did something on changing maternal household position and child death outcomes in Nigeria. That was my MSc project. And at the end of the day, before I finally understood which data set to use, it took a while. I had worked for a while on a particular data set, and then it was just one day I was thinking about it. No, this is not supposed to be my unit of analysis. Because I was working on, my focus is on child health outcome, right? Which is the dependent variable. But because, when you are changing maternal household position, you know we are talking about women, household position of women, how it is changing over time, and how it is affecting the health outcomes of their children. That was my focus. But then it took a while. But at the end of the day, you have to understand the focus. That's what I'm trying to say. So, in my own case now, child health. So my focus should be on health of children less than 5 years, and that's why I had to go back to use the right data set. I was using individual record before, because under individual record we still have information regarding those children. You understand? So you must understand your unit of analysis.
So what did you use? KR?
No, that's no, birth record. Yes. So you must understand your unit of analysis. Now, the second one is couple record. Of course, the couple. So if you want to do anything on couple, male and female, you don't need to go and get male, get female, and then match. No, it's already there. Couple record, that's what you pick. Also, the other one, household record, household data characteristics, as it is. So you know if you are working on household, that's the data set you use. My own, let me not talk about it. I wanted to say something about presentation that I was supposed to do today. Now I had to crack my brain yesterday and I was like, okay, what should I do? So something related to household something. So individual record, of course, we all know that is for women. And then you have kids record, data for under 5 children born in the last 5 years preceding the survey. That's what I use, not birth record. Kids record, not birth. Not birth. Not birth, it's kids record. So male record, of course, data for male. People's record, that's all individuals in the household, all of them. So I think with this, we have an idea of the nature of the data set in the NDHS data. And as it is, it's the same thing across all the developing countries from where data was collected regarding DHS surveys. So for yeah, that would be individual record. You just streamline it to the age of interest. Yes. Yes. You are not supposed to be sitting there. You are supposed to be standing up. But we are not there yet. Don't worry, you still stand up. So the next one here, variable identification is data, type of variable, responses, and in the variable one. This is what I'm going to do. Let me move this here. So, yes, here. So this is what I want to do. All of us who already have the data and data folder on our desktop, go to that folder. The folder now. All of us are working together. There is no, please, what did you say? I don't want to go back. So all of us are going together. Go to that folder you copied on your desktop. Open that folder. Inside that folder, you will see data, and then you also see what? NGR doesn't whatever, right? That is the data. That is where the data is located. The data I want to use for examples now. So what you will do now is to open data folder, not the NGIRO, data folder. Have you opened it? Well, let's opening folder now.
Oh, they opened data page before.
Close that data page. Close data page.
Done. Data folder.
Have we now opened the data folder? Have we all opened the data folder? We are not responding. So, in that data folder, scroll down. For those ones who are using the data folder that I gave you, scroll down. You will see Stata MP. Stata MP. Some of you will be seeing .exe in front of it. Stata MP. Just Stata MP. Now double click it.
This app capture on your PC. You should run.
On your own PC.
There is 64. There is Stata 64.
I said Stata MP. Which one did you open?
There is Stata MP.
Did I say 64?
There is normal MP.
And he said, is it true? Yes. Did it run on your system? It's run on your system.
0 kilobyte.
Could copy it only. That means it did not. That means it did not copy the actual. It just copied the icon. It did not copy the actual. Koshiro, you know.
Oshi. Stata MP, right?
Stata MP.
It's working.
Did you copy from here?
Yes, now your flash.
On my flash. But my people have been using it and it's working.
Please use with the flash.
Have you copied yours? Stata MP. The one of X. No, not that one. Your own, you'll be seeing X. That's one you open. Did you? Are you deleting?
Yeah.
You are deleting?
It should be on
No. You just say replace or.
I'm going to delete that.
Oh, ẹ máa ti jẹ́ ó pẹ́ kó tó ṣe. Search for it. That's the challenge this man too was having yesterday. When he's saying something, you just click do this for all and then replace.
Okay.
If he's asking that something is already there before. So that means we'll be leaving you behind, and we don't intend to leave anyone behind. No, don't get too religious about this. I just say literally. No, not literally. Let's talk about this. Now, should we continue? So, but wait. Even if you are copying, just look up. Stata has, this is an interface of Stata. Can we all see the screen? So, on this side, I'm not sure, is there a way to point this thing? Yeah, this side. Look at the middle, this big middle. That is the results window. Everything you do inside Stata, the responses you are going to be getting will be showing here. Here, this small cell here, that is your command window. You know, Stata is a software that is capable of being used using both point and click and command. When you do a point and click, at the end of the day, when it's bringing out the result, it will also show you the command that you could have used instead of that. So even if you did not know the command before, once you use the point and click, you will see the command before it shows you the result. So you can save the command for future use. So the idea is, even if you are not really versatile with it before, you don't know what it is, you can be procedural, take it a step at a time. By yourself, when you explore using the point and click, you will still understand point and click. What I mean is, no. Okay, it sounds like point and kill. No, click. Point and click is when you are working and then you move your cursor, you go there, you click it, then you go to another. We'll get there. So I just have to quickly go there for you to know that it supports both point and click and command options. So here is the command history. Any command you could have run, or you run here, or in your do file, don't worry, I'll tell you what do file is. You will see the history of everything you have run here. So sometimes if you run a command here, and you have moved on, and you want to run that same thing again, you don't need to go and type it again. Just look here, you will see there, just click it here, it will bring it down here, and then you run it. That means you are repeating what, you can easily repeat what you have done before, because it will be saving those commands you have run inside this place. So this place is where you will see, this window is where you see your variables. You see the name of the variable, you also see the label of the variable. It's important that we know the difference between name of variable and label of variable. I can say, you know, in your questionnaires, you call us back. I will not answer you. So this is it. When you have designed your question, let's say you are doing a primary study now, you've collected your data using your own designed instrument, and then you have Q1, Q2, Q3. Q1, maybe it is called respondent identification number. Are you with me? Q1 is the name of the variable, while label of that Q1 is the label, is the respondent identification number. Are you with me? Respondent identification number is the label, while Q1 is the name of that variable. We need to know what those things mean, because as we go on, we're going to get to certain places where those things will be very important to know. So, looking at this now, here is the variable name, while here is the label of the variable. More, you think of the label as description of the variable, of the name. Now, here is where you see the properties of your variables. Here, you see the properties of the variable. But most of the times, all the areas we are going to focus on will be here, 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 and here. Because those are the ones that will be giving you detailed information regarding what you are doing, the results you are getting, and the variables you are using, and all of that. So that is the interface of Stata. And then I'm moving to the next one, variable identification in Stata. And then you have type of variable. Let me go to Stata. Now, open our Stata, everybody. Are we there now? So as you can see, without anything, there is no variable, there are no description of apparently, and then you have your results window, the command window, and the command history. Now, what I want to do now is to show you what it looks like when you have brought in data. When you bring in data, this is what it will look like. You'll be seeing the variable here. I mean the name of the variable, and then the label of the variable. If you see, can you see V022? I mean V002? Yes. What's the name? V002, right? What's the label? So if you put your cursor on it like this, it will show you what it is. Because this one is not showing, because that's entirely the label for that variable. You can easily see everything, but the ones you cannot see, you just put your cursor on it, it will show you the label. So now, when I say point and click, this is what I mean. Variables are already here. There's a variable that you have been talking about, CEB, in DHS. The name of that variable is V201, I think so. So if I say tabulate, just wait, you don't need to know what tabulate is saying until, if I say tabulate or tab or just TA, all of them can work for running frequencies. So, but wait, let me just do what I want to talk about first and foremost. V201. What is the title you can see here? What's the label of that variable? Total children ever born. That's the label. And the name of the variable is V201. Now, as it is, I have used command input. See, is the command I just entered now. Can you see? Tab V201. Tabulation is used to run frequencies of your variables. And you can see here, when I tabulated this, those who have just 0 number of fields, they don't have any child at all, you see they are what? 11,829, right? Can you see?
Yes.
And this is the percentage. This is the cumulative frequency. This is the frequency, percentage, and the cumulative frequency. So if you add all of this together, you get 100. Now, this is command input. What if I want to use point and click? All you need to do is take the cursor, all of those statistical analysis you want to do, they are under statistics when you look at the interface. Are you with me? So when I say point and click, the same thing I did here, I can do with just the point and click by saying statistics, summaries, tables, and tests. You go to frequency, tables, one-way, table, let me run this first and foremost and see. 201. Can you see? Hello?
Hello, sir.
What's that? Can you see the equivalent command, I mean, point and click for the command I used earlier? Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Did you see the procedure I went through? So I went through the point and click process, and it is giving me exactly the same thing as the command. So that's why I said you can use point and click as well as command for. Is there anybody who does not understand this? Thank you. So now, type of variable. I'm sure all of us can remember the different measurements of variables, right? Levels of measurement, right? I mean, we've emphasized that in this training quite a number of times. Nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. What is the difference between interval and ratio?
True zero origin.
True zero origin. Which one has true zero?
Ratio.
Okay. So, in this situation now, we have, when we talk about type of variable, we have largely the categorical variables, numerical variables, and those ones are what will guide the type of statistical techniques you use. So, in this slide, I have the way you can see your variables to know which type of variables you are working with. There's a command called describe. Also, you can use frequencies. When you tabulate also, you see the type of variable you are working with. Is that also? For instance, the CEB V201 that I ran now, what type of variable is that? Huh? It's discrete. You can't have 2.1 child or children. You know, when it is continuous, it is decimated. But if it is discrete, you know, they are in whole numbers. So that's a numeric variable without looking for the type. But if you want to go beyond just knowing whether it is numeric or categorical type of variable, you just use your command called describe. Describe. This is a short for that. So you can tab it in full. You can also shorten it. Describe V201. You see the name of the variable. It is stored in this type of format, displayed in this type of format. The value label. I was saying something about, okay, for those who have worked with XPSS before, where do you need value labels? Anyway, let's not waste our time. We need value labels when you have your data in categories. And then you have coded those variables, those categories. If you have, let's say, male and female now, gender, you code male 1, you code female 2. You know that whether 1 or 2 does not make any difference. It's not ordinal, it's just at nominal level. We're just trying to differentiate in terms of identification. Okay, this is a male, this is a female. For us to be able to use that in Stata, you need to code them. So 1, 2, and then you can move on. In SPSS, if you bring data from Excel to Stata, you know you cannot code and say 1 for this unless you only put those data in Excel using those numbers. But if you have typed those things in text format, male, female, and all of that, if you bring them here, you need to change the format before you can actually use it in Stata. What I mean by changing the format is this. You need to destring, because this will be seeing it as string. So what you do is destring, change it to numbers. That's the code. But don't worry, we'll get there. Hopefully. And if you don't get there, we'll be asking questions later. Maybe not here. But since now we are not talking about primary data, you are not taking any data from Excel. You are taking data from the DHS or mix and all of those. They have formats in Stata, yes?
Will that problem, that string, will it be solved just by inputting? By inputting. Importing. Yeah, importing.
No, when you import, when you import, you still need to destring. In this situation, what I usually do is I generate another variable, gender, and then you replace if this is male, if this is. But there are situations where even if you generate from those variables, you still need to use the destring. But don't worry, it's a gradual process. Let me not make it too complex. Now, the next here, is there any question so far? Are we all on the same page? If you are not responding, you have not started. Very good. Very good. Not, we'll get there. We'll get there. And we'll get there. Thank you. So, let me know which time on that one. Now, this is almost for so. Let's go to bringing our data sets. And the next thing we want to do is to load the DHS data set into our. And then with this, I think when we do all of this in practical terms, I think it's better for us to. It will be better for us in that way, so that we can actually understand what we are saying instead of the theoretical aspect of it. So, open your Stata now, everyone. And as you have done that, let me talk about loading your data set into Stata. I think I was almost there when I was talking about bringing data from Excel. But luckily for us this time, we are using secondary data. And when you are bringing your data from either mix or DHS, NDHS, and all of that, they will give you options to select the type format, the data format that you want to bring in. For SPSS, the extension is .sav. For Stata, it is .dta. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
For Excel, is what?
XLS.
XLS, there are different, I think about 4 or 5 extensions for XLS X, SLS, CSV, and all of that. So, but we are learning Stata, so the idea is to bring in data for Stata format, which is .dta, right? Now, remember I said something about using command and point and click. And point and click is when you are using this, moving your cursor and then going to pick and. But for command, you come down here and run it. And that the example I did here was when I used tabulate V201. that brought out this number of children ever born. When you close your stator after doing all your work like this, if you close your stator, all the commands you have written that could have been shown here, they will disappear and you will not see it again. And when you open it again to start that work again, that means you are going to start from the beginning. It's called begin again. You begin again. But luckily, there is a facility on Stater that allows you to work such that you can save all the things you have done, such that when you finish and close it, you come back, you can just continue from where you stopped the last time. It's called the do file. The do file helps you to save all your commands, your command history that will be here and that will be gone if you have not saved. But if it's inside do file, you'll be able to come back and start from where you stopped the last time. So this is where you get the do file. I'm trying to make it as concise and purposeful and focused as possible, so that we will focus on the things that matter, because we don't have that much time. So this is do file here. If you put your cursor on this tab, can you see? Here. If you put it there, you see new do file editor, right? Beside it, you see data editor. And beside this, you see data editor but browse. Data editor is where you'll be seeing your data when you bring it in. After bringing your data into Stater, editor is where you will go to go and see your data. If you want to do any change manually, you can do it there. However, there are two ways of opening data editor. One is editor, and one is edit, and the other is browse. As it sounds, when you browse, you are just going over it, you are not doing anything, right? So if you now use browse to open your editor, what's wrong? So if you use editor, if you use edit, that will allow you to actually edit your data. But if you use browse to open where your data is, you can only browse, you cannot edit. If I close this and say ED, it's still the same thing. It will still bring it. Stater is so good that if you are the lazy ones, like you don't want to waste your time, you can just be using the short, but you make sure that those shortcuts are present in Stater. But there are ways to know the shortcuts. If I go to, before I go there, let me use the other one. This is browse. Browse. I'm using uppercase. So browse also will bring you to your data editor, but in that case you cannot edit. Are you with me? Yeah. So also like edit, that we could use ED, you could also use just BR here. It will still bring out that editor window. If you want to input data manually, let me just quickly do this. You do, let's say you want to input data on age and gender. You say input commando, input age, gender, and you enter it. There's one thing about this. I just want to quickly show this. This is not part of what you are supposed to learn. I just want to quickly show this, that you can also input data using the command window. So I have told Stater that I want to enter data with two variables using the input command, input age and gender. Number one, see, you can see number one here. It's telling me that I should enter data for the first observation, the age and gender for the first observation. Let's say for the first observation, I say the age is what? 23, we're talking about, okay, adolescents. 18, and gender. I want to put it in terms of the code. So for 1 is male, I say 1, I enter it. See, as soon as I enter, what did you say again? 2, right? Or the second observation, or the case will be the second case. So I say, okay, the second person is 17 and same male. Third person 16, female. Anyway, let's stop there. And when you start this, when you get to this place, you must tell Stata, because Stata will keep telling you that, okay, the next one, the next one, the next one. You can see 4 is there again. So you must tell Stata that you are done. Your data has finished. So when you do that, what you need to do is just say end. When you say end, it will not bring any number for you to continue again. So for you to see what you have entered, your data, you know what I said, you can use how many procedure? Either edit or what? Or browse. If I browse now, you can see the data I just entered, right? So let me see if I can edit it. I want to change 18 to 15. You double click to enter, it will not allow you because you have entered the editor using browse. So but if you use edit, you can edit your data. You see that it's possible. That's where I'm going, just to give you an overview of that. Now let's go to the next one and see the command they brought out for the change I made. Replace age equals 50 in 1. Can you see? What is 1? 1 is the first observation. Is that not where we edited it? So that's what it means. So anything you do, it will bring out the command equivalent of what you do manually or even using point and click. You see all of those in your results window. Now let me go to the next. We want to load our data sets. I've spoken about do file, right? Yes. Now let's open a do file. All of us are together, we are doing this. Open a new do file. Just click on that thing to bring out another window. Do file editor. Are we all there? Yes. People are not responding. Yes. So this is what I want us to do. Usually, when you are working in Stata and you want to work with a new project, you need to remove what you have currently so that you can start afresh with the new project. Is that not so? So what you do, there is a command that I use to remove that without you having to close Stata and open Stata again. It's called clear. So I'm going to type that instead of putting clear here. Instead of putting clear here, I will use the do file to do it. Let me minimize this so that you can be seeing the pages. So, and also, for me to run this, when I say run, I mean execute a command or couple of commands. So for me to run this clear, is either I highlight here or I highlight and execute here. See, it will bring that. Okay, can see execute selection. You either use execute selection at the top here or you use a shortcut, and that's Ctrl D. That's what? Ctrl D. So as this thing is highlighted now, I can say Ctrl D. Can you see the response here? Aha. So and if let me show you my. This is not it though. Can see now that my data has disappeared. So that means we need to bring in a new data. Most of the times, to say clear all is like a stronger approach to removing everything so that you'll be sure that nothing is there. Clear and clear all, they work almost all the same. So I can say clear all, run it, it's still the same. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Now, after clearing, we want to bring in a data set for us to work with. In this case, the data in our folder. But before we do that, because I want us to always work with do file. Unless you want to do some quick understanding of the nature of your data, you can do that in command menu. But for the full analysis you do everything inside do file. And as you are working, you are saving your do file. So that if anything should happen, because sometimes you may have hundreds of lines of codes, and if that thing should go off, you know how it will look like for you to go back from the beginning and start again. So do everything you do inside do file, and as you are working, you are saving. So that next time when you come on, you'll be able to just go there and continue from where you stop. But before you can bring in your data, you need to tell Stata where your data is. Are we together? You must declare to Stata that this is where that data is, and anything you do regarding that project will be saved in that place. You could call it folder, but for Stata it is called directory. So now what we are going to do to tell Stata where we are going to be working, such that everything we do will be saved in that directory, in that folder, is the command is called change directory. It's not in the do file yet. We are going to do everything. No, it's not like we are going to type in the do file. Everything we are doing will be doing inside do file. Don't forget. Excuse me. So it is called change directory. So to do that, we are going to be using the cd command, change directory. Now, how did I arrive at where I am now? cd, you can see the command. Can you see it? I'm not sure. Is it clear? Can we all see it? You can see the cd. That's the first thing. And then, how did I get all of this? How did I get it? Because this is the folder where my own data is. This is what you will do. You go to, are we all together now?
Yes, sir.
You go to the desktop where you are working on. Let me just go to the desktop. This is the folder. This is the folder, and this is the data, right? This is where the data is, right? So what I do is to come to the top here, right click, and copy address as text. So I'll go to Stata and tell Stata that this is the address, everything you are going to be doing for me will be going. Are we together? So we copy as text. Can we all do that? We had issues on this thing. You won't tell me like that. We are just going back and forth. So let's all do this at the same time. Have you all copied it?
Yes, sir.
So now let's go to Stata. Go to Stata. So let me remove the one I had here before. So I say cd change directory. I open two quotes. This is quotation, right? Can you see the quotation? Have we all copied the address?
Yes.
So change directory, that's cd, followed by two quotes, the quotation. Yes, there is space. After the cd, there is space, and then you put your two quotes. There's no space between the quotes. So you go inside the quotes and paste what you have copied. Have you done that? Have you all done that?
Yes.
Who is having difficulty? What's the challenge? You cannot copy from your address. Or Stata is not opening. What What is the challenge? Put your system down. Doctor. Thank you, sir.
0 kilobytes here now. I hope this flash is not infected. I deleted the whole folder. I recopied it.
But hold on, your copy now. He had a challenge with that, like that too before, and he sorted, and he used this to copy.
Laptop crashed.
When?
Not with this anyway. The other flash. It's still 0 kilobytes. I copied. The data MP.
Have you sorted it out?
Yes, sir.
What was the challenge?
Couldn't copy.
But I copied everything.
Well, so why? How couldn't you copy? Why? Why couldn't you copy?
I didn't know the step. I just
Because you don't look up. I said you look up. Have you done that? Very good. Very good. This is the place, right? I say come here, right click, and copy the address. Should we move on? We are moving on now. It is past 4 already. So please, are we here? Please look up. The link to download the MP3. I don't understand. Virus. You know what I'm going to do? Format that flash drive. Give it to somebody else to copy for you. Format the flash drive. And give it to somebody who you think is safe, who has. Format it. Maybe if you give. Format it. Maybe come and give Prof here. Format the flash drive, give it to somebody that has a safe. I'm sure Prof has a so maybe copy that. Do you have anything there, sir? Anything that you don't want to disappear? So if you are out here now, so this is what we are going to do. You know, I said the other time that if you want to clear, you can either highlight here. Are you all looking up? Yes. This is important. If you come here, I will not answer. You know, I told you I'm not a lecturer. Look up, sir. It's not even responsible.
He's far ahead of us.
I think so. Sir, look here. Look here. Don't look at the system now. This is very important. I said earlier that when you want to run a command, you either use Ctrl D or you come here and do execute and you highlight. This is it. It is now that we have multiple commands on this do file, as I'm highlighting now, that means whatever I was going to do will be based on what I have highlighted.